My in-laws locked me inside the house and took a flight, telling me to look after my sister-in-law's disabled daughter. But the moment they left, she stood up and said, "They want to steal my $4 million. Save me?" My in-laws locked me inside the house and caught a flight, and the moment I heard the faint sound of footsteps, the girl they called disabled was standing in the dark and said, "If you don't help me, they'll kill me and you too." The sound of the door locking echoed in my ears like an explosion. I knew they saw me as weak. The guy with a basement apartment in Brooklyn juggling 2 jobs, always behind on medical bills. To them I was nothing more than a free caretaker. On their way out they had said casually, "Our poor Emily can't walk. Just keep an eye on her." But the second their SUV disappeared around the corner, the house felt heavier. I walked down the hallway lined with family photos. In every single one something felt off. No one looked genuinely connected to Emily. She was posed, positioned, like a prop, not a daughter. I opened her bedroom door quietly. There was the wheelchair. There was the blank expression. Everything exactly as they had presented it. Then I heard the faint creak of hardwood behind me. I turned. She was standing. Not leaning. Not trembling. Standing. Her voice shook, but her eyes held a fire too steady to fake. "Don't scream," she whispered. "I haven't used that chair in 2 years. They force me." It felt like the floor shifted beneath me. "Emily, you can walk?" She answered coldly, "Walking isn't the problem. Living is." Then she said the words that changed the direction of my life. "They want my $4 million. If you don't help me get out, I swear, they'll make sure neither of us walks out alive." This wasn't a movie. This was a house in Brooklyn. I was just a regular guy. She was just a young woman. And this was the kind of truth that can suffocate you at night. Emily explained everything in sharp, controlled fragments. Her mother had left a $4 million trust in her name. The condition? Emily had to prove she was capable of living independently. If she were declared physically or mentally unfit, control of the trust would pass to her legal guardians, her family. So they built a lie. They bribed doctors, fabricated evaluations, claimed neurological damage. The wheelchair wasn't medical, it was strategic. Cameras inside the house conveniently malfunctioned whenever it suited them. When they left town, they locked her in and controlled the narrative. Me. I was the struggling in-law who needed extra cash. Easy to manipulate. Easy to underestimate. For the first time in my life, I felt something shift inside me. Maybe sometimes life throws you into a moment where you either shrink or you grow. Emily grabbed my hand like someone drowning. "They fly out, lock the doors, shut down the internal cameras, and assume no one will believe me." I said quietly, "I believe you." Her expression cracked for just a second. Maybe no one had ever said that before. Just then the security system beeped once. A small sound, but it froze both of us. "It's motion triggered," she whispered. "They monitor movement remotely. If I'm not in that chair, they would know." We needed a plan. Fast. It wasn't complicated, but it was dangerous. We had to gather evidence, disable surveillance, and get her out safely before they suspected anything. I went to the basement. I had never paid attention to it before, just assumed it was storage. It wasn't. It was a surveillance hub. Wires ran along the ceiling. Hard drives stacked near monitors. Recorded footage labeled by date. I scrolled through hours of video. Smiling faces in the living room. Cold conversations in the kitchen. Arguments. Threats. At one point I found footage of her sister hissing, "If you mess this up, you won't see sunlight again." This wasn't guardianship. It was imprisonment. That night, Emily wasn't the victim. And I wasn't the desperate guy they thought I was. We left just after midnight. She walked out of that house on her own 2 feet for the first time in years. She wore a hoodie, shoulders tense, eyes scanning every shadow like danger might leap out at us. I drove. She watched the rearview mirror. Every passing car felt like pursuit. At a small legal aid office the next morning, in a waiting room that smelled like burnt coffee and old paperwork, Emily told the whole story. Taking. Years of silence pouring out in measured truth. I sat beside her watching a woman reclaim oxygen. The attorney reviewed the videos, the medical records, the trust documents. "This is abuse," she said firmly. "We're filing an emergency petition." We returned to the house before her family got back. By evening they had landed. Chaos erupted almost instantly. Her sister stormed inside. Where is she? Emily stepped forward. Standing. I'm right here. There was no cinematic music. No dramatic spotlight. Just raw silence so heavy it felt physical. Her brother-in-law's face drained of color. You can't. Stop, she said. For the first time they looked afraid. The court hearing happened 3 days later. Emily walked in. On her own. No chair. No assistants. The recordings played. Doctors were questioned. Financial motives were exposed. Text messages about keeping her compliant were read aloud. Her family shifted in their seats like trapped animals. The judge leaned forward. This isn't guardianship, he said evenly. This is captivity. The emergency order stripped them of authority immediately. A full investigation followed. Emily's trust was restored to her control. She was free. And for the first time in my life, I had been someone's shield instead of someone's burden. 2 weeks later my phone rang. I started a foundation, Emily said. Her voice sounded lighter. For people trapped like I was. Financial abuse. Forced dependency. I want you on the team. You're the only one who didn't run. I exhaled slowly. No one had ever said that to me before. You didn't run. I guess, I said quietly, maybe I finally found something worth staying for. I still live in Brooklyn. The basement apartment hasn't magically transformed. My bills didn't disappear overnight. But something changed in me. Freedom isn't always about money. It's not about a bigger apartment or a sudden miracle. It's about the moment you hear fear breathing down your neck, and you step forward anyway. That night I wasn't the weak one they thought I was. And Emily wasn't disabled. We were both just waiting for someone to unlock the door. Turns out, sometimes the door only opens when you decide to stand up and walk through it. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful real-life inspired stories of courage and truth. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps these meaningful stories alive. Thank you for watching until the end. It truly means more than you know.